efforts in. Carry on Alice breaks their hearts again.
Pulling clear in the closing stages. Smart Call wins the Jambi Mid. And Smart Call comes home to win it in the main Johns Farms Paddock Stakes.
A warm welcome to tonight's edition of Breeding to Win. And wow, what a week it's been for young apprentice Lyle Hewitson, who broke the record for riding the most winners as an apprentice, literally to the day that he took out his apprentice license 2 years ago. What a fantastic achievement, and a hearty congratulations to the 20-year-old Lyle Hewitson. Right now, let's take a look at what you can look forward to on tonight's show. We visit Michelle Ricks and Harold Crawford. My guests tonight in the studio are Francie Herold and Dijon Steyn, and feed chats to Pippa Mickelborough and MJ Bailefelt.
Il est bel, incroyable ici. La police qui va enlever l'arc de triomphe. 5e victoire de la course pour Frankie Lettori.
Is storming home, one of the last possible gasps for the Challenger thriller. What a finish to the Melbourne Cup. Brave is under pressure and they turn in. It's been a relentless run cut. Who's going to be the last man standing? And bursting on through. Then Wings of Eagles with Samoa. Wings of Eagles swooping though. And Wings of Eagles gets up to win.
His 3,000th winner.
Vodacom, Durban, July.
Gauteng Sansui Samaka.
One of the hardest working jockeys around is Francie Herold, and it's my pleasure to welcome Francie to the Breeding to Win show this evening. Francie, great to have you.
Thanks, Jules. Thanks very much for the opportunity.
And lovely to have you back in South Africa. I know you've been here a while, but we haven't managed to catch up with you since your return back from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, it's been hard work since I've been back, but you know what? It's my job, but I'm enjoying it.
Well, let's chat a little bit about Saudi, because obviously you went over to ride for ex-trainer Neil Bruss, ex-South African trainer Neil Bruss, and you did pretty well there during your stint.
Yeah, we did. You know, with a very small string. Neil got rid of a couple of horses when we got there. I rode for Neil in Zimbabwe before I went. Did very well there. I was riding in Joburg at the time, and Neil phoned me and he said to me, "You know what? I've seen that you've ridden in Saudi before. Would you like to come and have another stint?" And it was a pleasure. I enjoyed going. The first time I went in 2003, I rode for the King. Nick Robb was the trainer then. I went over there. It was a bit of a culture shock going back 13 years later, just how the country's developed. The racing was still as good as what it was then. Like I say, we had a very small string, but we were competitive in every meeting we raced in.
And obviously the prize money and the racing, very competitive. How would you compare it to South Africa's racing?
Yeah, it's a big difference. The prize money is very good. They pay you 10% of the first 5 places, from first down to 5th. Riding fee is also pretty good. The stake money is very good. I think for a maiden plate, you've convert the real to the rand. I think it's about 3.5 rand to 1 real. I think the maiden plate comes down to about 270,000 rand for a maiden plate,
Sure.
and so it goes up.
Unbelievable. And obviously you did very well. So what made you come back to South Africa?
I had a year's contract with the stable I rode for. Before I went there, they had an American guy who rode for them, and he fell off the year before and broke his back for the same stable. So these guys said to him, "You know what, if when you come back, we will re-employ you again." So I was there for the year that he was off. My contract came to an end, and obviously I was grateful for the opportunity that I had with him, and I came back to South Africa.
You said you rode there in 2003, and you said there's quite a huge development, and how it has developed over the last couple of years. The training tracks and of course the race tracks, how are they doing?
We train on the racetrack. It's probably the best sand surface I've ever ridden on, and I've ridden on quite a few, from France to Singapore to Dubai to Macau. I've ridden on quite a few dirt tracks, but that's probably the best dirt track I've ever ridden on. It's very forgiving, it's flat, it's just, the surface is different. I think the same bloke who redid Santa Anita built their track there. It's magnificent.
Unbelievable. And then you came back to South Africa and you almost pulled off your second Grand Heritage with Classify for the Dory Sham stable. It was almost like a ding-dong battle to the wire.
Yes, thanks. Great run. I couldn't believe it. Marco van Rensburg rode the horse probably 10 days before me, and I remember doing him around the turn. It was a 1200 inside track, and he's quite a big horse, Classify. So after I did him, he came in the straight and ran on to run 5th. And when I pulled up, I said, "Marco, that's a very good run for that horse, considering what
that
happened
you did
with,
him.
yeah, not on purpose, obviously, just by accident." And he said to me, "Francie, I'm suspended for that particular meeting. Phone Mark and ask him if he can ride the horse." And I've got to say thanks to Dorian Mark, with the game the opportunity. And we almost pulled it off with another Port Elizabeth horse. On the day we got beaten by a better horse, but a great run from ours.
Obviously, being a family man and being in Saudi for a year took a lot of strain on you and the family.
Yeah, you know what? I've travelled for a long time, and this has probably been my hardest, the toughest year that I've had, because obviously I was over there for so long, and I missed my son's graduation at school. I missed his 18th birthday, but obviously I do what I do for them. Very tough. Luckily, I had Neil Bruss there and some South African connections. We were probably like a married couple, myself and Neil. He spent more time at my house than he spent at his house. But big culture shock because of their religion. There's not really much of a social life as such. If your family comes over and you go to a restaurant, you're quite isolated. You put into a little cubicle with you and your wife and kids, and you have dinner there.
So you can't be part of like public?
No, you can't be. You're not allowed to hold hands in public. When you go to any takeout, you stand in 2 separate queues, one for women and one for men. So it's something to get used to. But I was there for so long, and I've gotten used to it, and but
Sure.
it's a big culture shock.
How's Neil coping with that?
Neil,
Because he's quite a friendly guy, Neil.
yes, he's like me. He's quite a friendly guy. That's why we got along so well. I've known Neil for a long time, and we adapted. We adapted where we were. It was tough, but at least we had each other. We kept each other company. Obviously, with there not being any alcohol or no alcohol around, it was a little bit tough for myself and Neil, because obviously after every win, we'd like to celebrate, and we had a few. But we had to do it with orange juice instead of a nice stiff whiskey or
So
something.
there's no place you can get alcohol at all.
Nowhere, not even the hotels, nowhere. No alcohol allowed at all.
Oh, unbelievable. And you survived.
We survived,
It's amazing.
No, we survived. We did. We looked for maybe some mouthwash with alcohol, but they never even had that. They took the alcohol out of the mouthwash. No, I'm just joking. No, but seriously, that was tough. It was tough, but we adapted and we survived.
Okay, so now since you've been back, Francie, obviously you do quite a lot of travelling. I think for one of the jockeys around, you've probably earned the most travelling miles, if I can say so myself, because, I mean, even before you went, you travelled to Kimberley, you were in Durban, you were back in Joburg, then you were in PE, then you were in Borrowdale. So, I mean, you're not scared of the travelling. You come in with a light mass, which is very difficult for a lot of our top jockeys and our jockeys around the country, and you're just almost like a natural. It's been tough to break back in.
It's been very tough. You know, there's a saying that goes, God's saddle must travel. And that's me. You know, I enjoy riding. It's just tough to obviously try to get the rides, first of all. I do a lot of work. I do ride a lot of work in the mornings. Kimberley's been very good to me. I've got to say, Zimbabwe's been very, very good to me. Whenever I've gone there, whether I've come back from any stint overseas, I've always been welcomed back with open arms. I've got to say thanks to Kirk Swanson and the whole team there. Joburg's been very tough. There's a lot of jockeys in Joburg. It's been very, very hard to break back in here. I'm just a little bit confused that I can ride light and I do the work, but it's still very hard to try to get the top rides. But you know what? I enjoy riding. I enjoy working. So let's hope that maybe something changes in the future.
And how's your weight been? Because I know as you mature, as we all do, we tend to put on, and it's difficult to keep that weight off.
I've got to thank my missus for that. I came back a little bit heavy, obviously, because there wasn't much work in Saudi. I would get up in the morning and maybe ride 3 or 4 horses, be back in bed by 6:30 and sleep till 10 o'clock. So I came back a little bit overweight because of lack of exercise. But I've got to thank my missus. She brought me my weight back down. I walk around now probably 52.5, 53 naturally. So my weight's come down a hell of a lot, so I've got to just thank her for that.
Well, Francie, I know you'll be back in the saddle, no doubt, riding those winners, because hard work always pays off, as we've seen in the past. What would your goals be for the season?
Jules, it's obviously we've gone 6 months or 4 months into the season already, or how many months it was. But just to prove to people that I'm not a bad rider. I'm a lightweight, but I'm a strong rider, and just to have faith in me, you know, just to give me a chance. Don't give me a chance and horses get beaten and suddenly you get whipped off. You know, you've got to be given, I believe, more than one chance. By making mistakes means that you are learning. So, you know, I just want to say thanks to the guys that have supported me, and I really hope that I can just prove to them that I'm capable.
Well, I certainly hope you get a lot more chances around, because we certainly know you are capable. Francie, thank you very much for joining us on tonight's show, and we wish you all the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and hopefully I'll see you again.
Thank you. Thanks to Francie Herald for joining us here on the Breeding to Win show.
Any old odds is going to slaughter them in the Canadian International.
I'll have another has won the Kentucky Derby.
Here is Soft Falling Rain pulling clear. Soft Falling Rain won the SA Nursery by 3.
Cape Town-based trainer Harold Crawford has been training for 43 years. He has a wealth of experience, knowledge and passion for his racing. The Breeding to Win team caught up with Harold and Michelle Ricks to find out more.
Harold Crawford is a very familiar face on the racing circuit and has been training for many years here at Milnerton, and he had great success when Perovskia won the listed race at Kenilworth last week. And thanks very much to daughter Michelle Ricks. We're in our lovely home this morning chatting to Harold and Michelle about the success of the stable, which is growing from strength to strength every day. Harold, thank you for joining us this morning. I must say it was a fantastic win last week. Perovskia won really in fine style.
Yeah, no, he won a very good race.
And he's nicely bred.
He's by Russian sides. It's not too fashionable, but even the worst stallions get a decent horse sometimes.
And you bought him from the BSA National Sale in 2015?
Yeah, the 2-year-old sales.
And he looks like a promising sort. He'll take you further?
Yeah, I think so, and I hope so, but I'm sure he will.
Well, it was a very exciting win, and I believe your first listed win since the 1990s. Native King was the last one, a Langerman in a computer form stakes for me. And of course, in your earlier days, you had a super horse called War Raider.
Yeah, he won 12 races and he won both future races in Port Elizabeth, breaking the course record. And he beat Gondolier just after Gondolier won at Durban, July. Gondolier came down and I took War Raider down there and he beat Gondolier.
And of course, racing's been in your blood all your life, and you spent your early days as an apprentice before you started training. I believe a little bit of a heavy apprentice, but you did work hard at it.
Yeah, I started in 1965 by Stanley Gordon. I was there by him for a year. Then I was with Sitlet for a year, and then when Sitlet moved to Durban, I went to Dennis Houston and Jackie Bell. And only then I went to the academy.
And then in 1976 you started training?
Yeah, I got my license in February, and then I think in May, my 5th and 6th run, I won a juvenile race, and then I won a future race with Edarissa.
Okay, so, and I believe you've got a little bit of Irish blood in you as well, your father being Irish.
Yeah, my father was born in Belfast.
And he was also very heavily into the racing?
Yeah, he used to ride at Durban with Mr. Millot and Ralph Rickson and Dudley van Zyl and them.
Back in those days, how many horses did you have in training?
I started off training at Gordons Bay. I had about 12, 14 horses.
And now you've got quite a solid string of about 20?
I've got 25 horses now.
That's excellent. And you're still busy at the sales and buying plenty of new stock?
Yeah, and we still got a couple of babies on the farm to come in.
And Michelle, as an assistant trainer, what would your daily routine be at the stables?
The morning starts pretty early, and thankful to my husband, he manages to get the little one to school early enough, and he sorts those morning activities out. So the day starts at 6 and at the yard early enough, and yeah, come home and do my admin here. And if I get the chance or there's something that needs to be done in the afternoon, I'm back there, and luckily my father's there most afternoons. So get to play mom and do the children extramurals later in the afternoon. But yeah, it's pretty flexible and it's enjoyable.
And with a string of 25 now, there'll be plenty to do, and it's an exciting string to have, 25.
It is. Out of those, we've got 18 2-year-olds, so that always has a bit more excitement involved. And yeah, we're very lucky that the last 2 years have brought some nice babies in, and it gives you reason to get up in the morning.
And you've managed to take the horses to the beach quite a bit over the season, which is always great, freshens them up, and they really enjoy it. Yeah,
we've decided over 2017 that we were going to change things up a little bit and be more proactive in the yard. And if we can't get the float to take them all down, we've purchased our little 2-berth, and we take the necessary horses to the beach as much as possible. And I think it's good for them to have a change of scenery.
And I also see you very, very busy on a race day looking after everyone, and that's quite a hectic day in itself.
Yeah, I tend to go more into my shell race day and not the talkative person, but I think those are still the things that I'll get used to, learn to take those kind of pressures more like my father. But it's all a learning curve, and step by step.
And there's obviously also a lot of paperwork involved with training racehorses. Do you get involved in all of that, or?
Yes, so I handle all the admin side of things, and it also suits me fine. I like the peace and quiet of sitting behind the computer sometimes and just switching off and doing that side of the job.
Well, Perovski's win came at a fantastic time. It was around the time of your birthday, and what a fantastic win that was to win a listed race for the stable.
Yeah, it was a very good birthday weekend, and yeah, I think he's really going to be a nice little sort. He's never ever felt like he's come under pressure when we see him at work, and come race day he knows what the job is about, and I think he deserves a little crack at the Durban season. He might not be going for the top races, but with what's left here in the winter season in terms of races, I think it'll be our best option to send him there.
And should he go to Durban, will you travel with him?
Yes, I will go with him, and that's where I'm going to be very grateful for my family that will back me up and give me the support.
It is absolutely wonderful that your mother, your brother, everyone's involved, and of course your husband is heavily involved, and he loves the horses too, and he gets very busy at the sales.
Yeah, much to his dismay. He owns a few horses, but I think that's to keep me busy and out of trouble. But yeah, I'm encouraging him to get more and more involved, and I said to him, if you're going to spend the money on them, you might as well enjoy them.
And you're busy at all the sales. I see you at the CTS sales, you've been recently to the BSA sale, and always busy.
Yeah, I think every sale has a horse for each type of person, and then the right prices, and yeah, it's good to show your support to all the sales, and yeah, we're very happy with the purchases that we've made.
And your daughter, she seems very interested as well. I see pictures of her on a little pony.
Yes, she's quite involved with her riding, and enjoys going to her shows, and has her 2 little ponies, so there's enough there to keep her busy.
Well, it's a great industry and fun. You've got lots of fantastic owners that have been in the racing circles for many years, and good friends. Yes,
we couldn't do it without those owners, and we feel very grateful to have them. And it's also nice because we've got a lot of new ones in now, and I think that makes a nice difference and changes things up a little bit. And new owners with a great passion and a great drive to win. And
Lucien puts in a lot of time at the stable. I believe he rides daily for you.
Yes, Lucien is a good solid part of the yard, him and Grant. We couldn't do it without them, and their feedback is very valuable on a daily basis.
Well, full credit to you and the team. The horses always come to the racecourse looking fantastic, and of course they're running really, really well at the moment, and the stable's doing really well. It's wonderful to be in your beautiful home this morning. I can see your passion and love of horses, and that goes to breeding as well.
Yes, we've Will and myself have just sent our mare to stud, and she's been covered, and we've now got a share in a Galileo mare, so now it opens doors for something different. And I must say that I think Will's preferring this side of the racehorses and the breeding. It seems to be his interest. So long may it continue.
Well, it's a lovely thing to go and see the mares and the foals for all the family, and you've got your mare at Claverflay, I believe.
Yes, so we went there 2 weeks ago, and fantastic farm, and it was lovely to see her there knee deep in grass. And now we look forward to foaling season.
And anything you breed, is that in a view to training them or selling them?
We'll have to see when those legs come out and if they'll make it to the sale or not.
I believe you really take pride in breaking in your own young stock as well. You do all that at home.
Yeah, but now lately we've been sending it to Kim Bosman, because she does a very good job, and it helps actually a lot when they come in from they're well schooled.
But you've got some other super horses in the yard. I mean, Ready Steady Go looks to be a nice type, and 1 or 2 others that have caught the eye at the races recently.
Ready Steady Go's good potential, but he is actually a difficult horse to work with. So we must just try and get him to settle down a little bit.
Yeah, and you ran another great race on Saturday, which was good.
Yeah.
And any up-and-coming stars, youngsters that you really like in the yard at the moment?
I think there's 1 or 2 of them. I got the Jackson colt there, and then Michelle got a philanthropist colt, which I think quite a bit of.
And it must be great to have Michelle working alongside you, going to the sales together, doing everything as a team.
Yeah, no, it is.
And of course you've got your little granddaughter Courtney, she comes to the stables as well. It's fantastic, I've seen wonderful pictures.
Yeah, she loves the horses.
That's great, and it looks like it will continue for many years with Michelle and the family all on board.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Michelle, as we were chatting with your father about the involvement and support of all the family in this training business, but you are very, very actively involved and have been for some time. How did that all come about?
I've been around the horses from day one. It was kind of just a natural progression to get involved, and yeah, I think we're pretty fortunate enough to be involved in horses. A lot of people look at it as a wonderful thing to be a part of, so it was something I couldn't turn my back on, and I kind of just wanted to carry on and work underneath my father.
And did your brother and you ride as youngsters?
You know, we probably messed around at the stables with the racehorses a little bit, but never really been actively involved in riding. My brother's an asthmatic, so that was never an ideal situation for him. But yeah, to work with them on a daily basis, not necessarily riding them, was good enough reason for me to be involved.
So how many years have you actually been assistant trainer for your father?
I've been a stable employee for many years. This is my first full year of being an assistant. I worked with trainer Andre Haynes for 5 years, and then afterwards decided to move to my father, and it's a good thing. It's not really like working for a boss.
But it's great, you've had a bit of experience elsewhere as well.
Yeah, and we did 2 seasons in Durban, and yeah, it's good working close to home now.
Well, the Breeding to Win team can't thank Michelle and Harold enough for this morning. It's been beautiful being here in Michelle's home, a very, very horsey and welcoming home. And of course, Harold and Michelle have done really, really well this season. Borowski winning the listed race last weekend. He looks to have a bright future in front of him, as does the stable, and we look forward to following them over the next year.
Glenn Cotson trains at Woodhill Racing Estate, situated in the Paarl Winelands, an ideal location to pre-train and train equine athletes. The 30-hectare estate is a fully equipped professional training property with large green paddocks, hot walkers, 2 tracks, starting stalls, and Glenn has access to the Melkbos Beach, where he regularly transports the horses to enjoy the cold, therapeutic Cape Ocean. Throughout the last decade, Glenn has produced multiple graded winners, including Badger's Gift, the TBA Paddock Stakes Grade 1, Big City Life, Vodacom Durban July, Lady Windermere won the South African Filly Sprint, as well as the Garden Province Stakes. Princess Victoria won the Allan Robinson Championship and the Garden Province Stakes. Glenn currently has Gold Standard, a striking son of champion sire Trippy, and an outstanding 3-year-old son of Dynasty, Eyes Wide Open. Glenn Cotson bases his principles on a good work ethic with the backing of a professional team, attention to detail, family values, and good friends.
Well, my next studio guest is also no stranger to Teletrack viewers, and it's my pleasure to welcome Dijon Steyn onto our Breeding to Win show this evening. Now, Dijon,
yes.
Bit of a surprise for me, but ex-Sean Terry assistant, and now you're back training on your own. Welcome.
Yes, it was quite sudden, Jules, it really was. I think the timing was probably right. You know, the horses were going through a bit of a patch. And, you know, Sean's got quite a lot of horses, and I was running his yard in Durban. And I just decided, you know, with the family being up in Joburg, coming and opening a yard in Joburg and starting again at the Vaal.
Okay, so you've now started at the Vaal. How long have you been there?
The 9th will be a month.
Sure.
So we've just been there a month. I worked a couple of days' notice with Sean, just to say goodbye. And so we're there about a month, yes.
Okay, so but let's just go back slightly, because you and Sean were actually a formidable team in KwaZulu-Natal, and
Yes.
you were with him for many years.
Yes, I worked with him close to 12 years. The last 3 seasons, as you know, he was champion trainer. Exceptionally, he done exceptionally well. Yeah, we tried our best, and we had a few winners in Durban, which helped towards the total. But he's got lovely horses, lovely owners.
And now, moving on to you, you've decided to go back into training. You tried it before, now you're back into it again.
Yeah, I've done it from 97 to 2005, I think.
And where were you based then?
I started at Reinke's
Okay.
for a couple of months, about 8 months. Then I went back to the Vaal. I think the Val's the place. You know, the tracks are absolutely beautiful there.
So you obviously know those tracks very well.
Yes. There's no solid base there. It's obviously a lot of drainage, and they're really beautiful. It's good tracks.
You've been there a month. How many boxes do you have?
I've got 28 boxes.
Well done. Very nice.
Nicely full, the 28. We've got 12 horses at the moment, two two-year-olds, and the rest are older ones ready to run.
Nice. So when do you think you'll be having your first runner?
Probably the end of March.
Okay.
End of March.
So now, how many owners do you have? Because it's all very well having horses, as we know, but you need the backing from the owners and obviously the money.
Yes.
So how's that working for you at the moment?
Yeah, very good. My nephew, Wayne Kutzer, he's in a big way behind the yard. He's got shares in 6 horses with me. My cousin Corey, a lot of family guys. My other cousin Robert's got 10% in a horse. Then I've got a few Indian friends of mine from Durban. They've got shares in horses with me. We've got Carlos Jardim. He's got a horse with me. So now we're getting there. We're getting a couple of mates together.
Are you? Well, that was my next question. Are you doing it to create little syndicates and get the guys more involved on a fun level, or are these guys coming in and purchasing these horses solely on their own?
No, they're definitely a fun part of it. They know they're not really going to go to Hollywood. They're going to win their few races, these horses we bought. Maybe we can buy a few youngsters that can do that, but the horses we got we'll just have a lot of fun with and hope they win a few races.
Dijon, we wish you all the very best. I know it's not an easy game, but you've been in it a long time. You certainly know what you're doing, and of course, being at the back at the Val is familiar territory for you.
Yes, man, I really hope we can make a go of it. Just thanks my wife Dickie. She's always behind me all the time, and she's behind me in this way, in a big way, because we know it's not easy, but we'll give it a go and see what happens.
Well, we wish you all the very best, and on behalf of the Breeding to Win team, we hope to catch up with you in the near future when you have your first big race winner.
No, Judy, thank you for inviting me. It's very nice to be on the program. Maybe a couple of guys can see me out there. We're going to try our best. And another thing I just want to say is working with good horses teaches you a hell of a lot more. In the last 6-7 years, we've had really good horses with Sean. So I think we'll do the right thing.
Well, we wish you all the very best. Thank you, Dijon, for joining us.
Thank you, Jules. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
When you go to the national yearling sales and you see these horses come into the ring, untried, untested, they go for vast sums of money. It's got a majestic pedigree, but just hasn't performed for some reason.
It's nice to give these horses another chance, another opportunity in a weaker centre.
If you add up the price of those horses that you bought at the national yearling sales, that are probably over 400,000 rand.
Yeah, maybe on average 400,000. It was incredibly cheap today, so it's a brilliant sale today. I'll support them again.
The sale doesn't have to be about the 5 and the 10s and the 12 granders. At the end of the day, there's some nice horses here, and you don't have to move them on when they're at the bottom of the barrel. There's good times to move them on while there's still a lot of racing in them. So the buzzword is definitely change, and some horses will appreciate it and some horses won't. So change is always a positive thing.
You know, for us to be dealing with likes of Sean and Chris and Paul Peters' yard and getting some assistance to them to move horses on to newer and greener pastures maybe, and pastures which they might be suited to, I think it bodes well for the industry.
A regular regular stop for the Breeding to Win team in Cape Town is Aventure Stud Farm. Well, Fee catches up with Pippa and jockey MJ Bailefeld on one of her recent visits.
Well, it's a while since we've been to Aventure Stud, and it's with great pleasure that we're here this morning, and Pippa Mickleborough and MJ Bailefeld, sponsored Aventure jockey, are joining me for all the news and updates of what's been going on the farm. Pippa, there's never a dull moment. It's busy all year round, and you're hectically busy with 17 going to the national sales and 7 to the local CTS.
Yeah, listen, we've had a little bit of a respite between CTS1, but obviously between that we're now harvesting grapes. We're well in the middle of the harvest for 2018. So yes, it doesn't seem to stop. We've got to get all the way to May, then we can start to breathe a little bit easier.
But you've got some beautiful yearlings going to the sales again.
Yes, listen, it was quite hard to decide which yearlings to put on which sale, but the draft for CTS2 is good draft, lovely type of horses by good sires, so hopefully they'll be well received.
And Oratorio has been really hitting the headlines again, hasn't he?
At last, you know, he had to just prove it in Africa. You know, the African people, they don't listen to Hong Kong wins and Singapore wins, but yes, they're doing well as they get the ground. The trainers are talking well about them, and there's a couple of nice ones in the pipeline, so I'm hoping better and bigger things to come for the Durban season.
And all well with both the stallions, VAR as well?
Yes, Oratorio has lost a lot of weight, shame, but he looks good. He's sound, vets are very happy. And VAR is aging, you know, VAR turns 20 this year coming up, so he is looking a little bit older. He's got a little bit of knee issues, but he's in fine form otherwise.
And of course, talking about your stable jockeys, we've got MJ with us this morning, but Lyle Hewitson made a fantastic record over the weekend when he won the Fillies Guineas, made 285 wins, just pipping the record. That was absolutely fantastic for Aventure.
Listen, you know, I mean, I love sponsoring these guys, you know, and obviously MJ on my right has been here from day one, but those two young guns, Callan and Lyle, were gambles I took because they were both apprentices when I took them on board, but I've enjoyed dealing with them. They're young and youthful and energetic. MJ is the more sort of standard one, keeps them in the straight and narrow. But what Lyle did on the weekend, you know, he's the most amazing young man. You know, he's so young and he talks so well. He's humble. I just hope he keeps his head on his shoulders and keeps going. And Callan has already achieved so much already. I'm very proud of all three of them.
Fantastic, very exciting. And MJ, just moving to you, it's wonderful to be sponsored by someone like Aventure. It's fantastic for you jockeys.
Yeah, Fee, I mean, a lot of people speak to you and they always ask, like, what's the monetary excitement about it? And for me, it's just a brand that you carry. I've gained a lot more just by the brand instead of the monetary wise. Obviously, the money is a factor, but for me, it's just a brand, and you're very proud to be associated by them. And when people hear that you are sponsored by Aventure, you sort of get a little bit of extra respect because of the way the brand is obviously there. So it's really fantastic, and obviously I'm the older one of the crowd, but the youngsters are keeping busy. I'm doing my thing here in Cape Town at the moment, and we'll be looking forward to moving to Durban soon.
And it's fantastic to be sponsored by Aventure. You get the perks of the wonderful restaurants as well.
Most definitely. I'm sure the other two guys that aren't here today are very jealous. I'm sure they would rather be sitting here having lunch than be working, but we've all got to do our job.
Well, MJ, you won the Cape Guineas and you obviously had a pretty good Cape summer season.
I'm obviously stable jockey to Mr. Marshall, and the stable went a little bit quiet. Things have been picked up. We had a very nice winner, a VAR that won in Zenadine not too long ago, and slowly our 2-year-olds are coming out, and we've got a couple of Oratorios and VARs there, so it does make a difference, and we're building up obviously to Durban. It's a little bit quiet in the Cape at the moment, but there's a lot of hard work being done behind the scenes, and it's all preps for Durban.
But the Guineas winner going to Durban and a good season ahead?
Yeah, he's all back on track and he's doing very well. So as I said, it's prep. He'll be there. I think Mr. Marshall will let out what else is going, and we've got an exciting young string that'll be there. So it'll be very exciting times.
And what do you think of these young jockeys is coming forward? I mean, that was fantastic what Lyle Hewitson achieved over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Lyle, just exceptional guy. I think. No disrespect to the Jockeys Academy, he was very fortunate to go through a school called Kersney College, and I think that grounding with the tradition, and that is a big difference and a big step ahead in our sport. As in the academy, I don't think you get that type of background to go out in that wild world. We really, as youngsters, you get out the academy and you get money and you get chucked out there, and it's a fortunate and a step ahead of which I think for him. And let's hope he rides it well and he carries on. I mean, he presents him very well. He presents a brand very well. And any young jockey out there, if I was a lot younger than him, and I'll definitely be someone that I'd be looking up to. He's doing a fantastic job. He's obviously got the support that's needed, but there's a reason why he's getting it, and very big well done to him.
Well, both Lyle and Callum, they're super young men as well. Very, very nice young men. Obviously, take a leaf out of your book and look up to you.
Yeah, but it's also exciting when Kellen had 3 Group 1 winners on a day, and it's something. Group 1 races for me, it's obviously the ultimate. It's nice to win a championship, but for me, it's Group 1s, and to have that behind you and the support that they get, I mean, it's fantastic. Kellen is a great rider, and I'm sure with time to come, he's not going to lag behind any of the top guys.
Fantastic, MJ. And Pippa, you've got Miss Frankel. How's she doing?
Sophie, Miss Frankel's had her 3 months rest on Avantier. She's moved already now. She's moved to join Julia at Sootendal because she needs to start a little bit of slow trotting. The vets have given her the all clear, so she's back in light work. So she'll trot for six weeks, and all going well, providing she passes that little next step, then she'll hopefully join Dennis. My plan is mid-April, and then hopefully then it's up to him. You know, there's no rush. The injury was minor. She's healed well, but it's there. But I have to say one thing, you know, she arrived here on Avantier mid-November, measuring 15.3. So to all your horse people there, that's a nice size. She left here last week measuring 16.1. So in that period of time, she grew a huge amount. So to be honest with you, in chatting to Dennis and the vets, I actually think she was just going through such a growth spurt that the race was just too much for. She's a big filly. She's bigger than Mom now. She's an awesome horse now. So I think maybe, you know, the injury was there, and it's obviously not nice to have an injury, miss the whole Cape Summer season. But the way she's developed into a big, strong girl, maybe it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, she obviously needs the time. There was lots of cluttering going on behind here, lots of people in the restaurant. It's very busy still.
The restaurant has been an amazing success story. You know, they're 13 years here now, these girls, Zunia and Mel. But for some unknown reason, this year has just been awesome. The Swallows are still here. We're trading. By this time last week, we already slowed down the evenings. We still 5 nights a week. We full every night. The functions seem to be leaning towards medical functions. A lot of doctors come launching products here. So very well received and busy all the time. Yeah.
Absolutely. Every time I've been here, even from early in the morning, there's wine tasting going on, there's conferences, all sorts of stuff.
Making a lot of noise, yeah.
So you've got a lot of travelling ahead, you've got the sales,
yes.
Obviously you'll get yourself around to some of the feature racing as well.
I hope so. I try and get to that sprint day in Scottsville, but now my main job now is to get the horses ready for nationals and for the regional nationals. Got some lovely stock, 16 for nationals and 7 for the local sale, by a lovely range of stallions, dynasties, Vars, Oratories, Captain L's, Water Winter, so there's enough for everything, for everybody. They've been quite a trying bunch. They haven't been straightforward, I have to say. But the ones that I have and the ones that I'll get there are really smart, well related. I suppose the national sales pick of the draft this stage maybe on pedigree, the Dynasty colt out of River Jatez, that obviously will attract some attention. We've got a lot on that first session. They've got a select session at national, so we've got a lot there. So looking forward to it, and a strong bunch, lots of big colts, so hopefully they'll sell well.
Well, thank you both for taking the time to chat to us this morning. Some exciting things happening on the farm and obviously in the racing world as well, and we look forward to the rest of the year ahead.
Whiskey Baron and Legal Eagle. It's Whiskey Baron who's claimed the advantage. No more from Legal Eagle, and Whiskey Baron goes on to win. Edict of Nantes is in front, the yellow cap. He's going on strongly. Nothing got a chance for him now. Edict of Nantes drawing away in the closing stages. Goes away to win it comfortably.
Edict of Nantes going great guns from El Sahem. Horizon's back third. Edict of Nantes from El Sahem. Edict of Nantes takes it to another level. Lady of the House, Gimme 6 on the inside. Lady of the House pulls it out. Captain America from Trip to Heaven, and Captain America going great guns. Captain America to Sean.
But the leader Sail South, and it's Sail South going on. Sail South will win it. Captain America second.
that's a wrap for this edition of Breeding to Win. Don't forget to join us for our next Breeding to Win show coming up towards the middle of March. From myself, Julie Alexander, and the rest of the Breeding to Win team, it's been an absolute pleasure being with you this evening. And until next time, good night.
Carry on Alice breaks their hearts again.
Pulling clear in the closing stages. Smart Call wins the Jambi-Mid. And Smart Call comes home to win it in the main Johns Farms Paddock Stakes.